I voted for the president 3 times, for Hillary, for when he went against Biden, and the last time. I am in this man's corner, but I don't know what the hell is going on right now. I go to, and look, not the smartest tool in the shed, but when Ben Shapiro, when Bill Ackman, when Sean Hannity starts questioning in ways that make me nervous, then I start to think, what the heck is going on? Is the president playing some type of 3D or 4D chess game? This this shouldn't be as hard as he is making it. If he would have told me that the stock market was going to go down as much as it was going to go down before it happened, I would have given him a little bit of grace. This fact of him coming in at the last minute, it's gonna be a little bit hard for a little bit. That's number one that is just driving me nuts. The second thing is these small handful of administration people, Lutnick, I'm going to get the names wrong, and Navarro, I'm done with those guys. They can't get their act together. They can't get their story straight. And that is, again, I support the president. I love what he's doing with the border. I love everything he could give a heads up to the American people and get us on board here.
Okay, let's let Hogan respond to that. Hogan.
No, I mean, look, I think a lot of people wanted Donald Trump to come in and be that disruptor, make these changes. The problem is a lot of these changes could be painful for a while. And I would argue Donald Trump did say you could have some pain for a while. Now, if you want him to explain it more, Dean, I get that. I mean, most people out here listening to these politicians would love a better explanation or a longer explanation. But I think Donald Trump said, look, there's going to be some pain, but this is going to bring our jobs back, and it's going to make us on free and fair ground, because every politician I know, I'm sure everyone you have ever listened to, says they want free and fair trade. Well, the free trade's always there. The fair trade never follows. And Trump says, I'm going to make that happen. But the course correct, it's going to cost some money. It's going to take some time, but we're going to come back bigger and better. He's basically been saying that. So have all the other people you're talking about. So, I mean, and honestly, I'm not being dismissive. Like, what would you like an Oval Office address? Would you like a sit down interview just about tariffs? Like, what would you like? Because I mean, I may or may not know some people that could potentially make that happen.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd like to see him sit down with Ben Shapiro, with Bill Ackman, and get those guys on board. Heck, get Elon back on board for that particular strategy.
I heard Ben this morning. I listened to Ben's podcast from last week on Friday when he talked about tariffs. So I'm with you. I heard it this morning.
Yeah, just pick one. If we can understand the goals and the triggers that are going to happen, Hogan, I'd be happy with some healthy pushback from the Speaker of the House. I mean, everyone just seems to be rolling over a little bit. Not everyone. I mean, I know that there are some that are speaking, but the good news, Hogan, for the right side of the aisle is the left side is screwed up so much. These books are coming out on how. I wanted to ask Ms. Bianchi. I said, if you were in the administration over this last 6 months, what would you have done to stay out of the to do right by the American people? If you got time, you can answer that, Sarah. But I give the president his due. I give him a long. I'm nobody. But I'm happy to give him. I like what I'm seeing and everything else. This one just is a confusing miss for me so far.
Okay, Dean, thank you. Sarah.
Yeah, well, look, I think the president, some of the goals are right on. Okay, there are supply chains that are a security risk. We need to have more of them in the United States, or at least with allies. I support that. I do think we need to be very, very hard line with China. They overproduce and then they export and flood markets and cause all kinds of damage. So 100%. I think in my own mind, the best way to get reshoring to happen is not, for a pharmaceutical to build in the US. I don't think a tariff quite is going to get you there. I thought more the CHIPS Investment Act, to try to get semis. I think you do need some incentives, some carrots along with that. But I guess I would be more interested in a strategy that that was a little bit more China focused and um, reshoring focused and didn't have all the other components that I think are just some industries that we don't really. I saw Mr. Lutnick on TV last night saying we could all push pins into iPhones and that's going to make America great again. First of all, that stuff's probably already automated. If not, it's on its way. So I question, I don't think necessarily people want to make, t-shirts or grow bananas here. So I just think it should be more strategically focused
Sarah,
and
can I ask you then? Sorry, one follow up.
Mhm.
So the two strategies that I hear are one, tariffs are revenue generation for our country.
Mhm.
Two, they're a way to get other countries to remove the tariff and take it down to zero. Which
Mhm.
camp are you in? Take the tariff on both sides down to zero, free trade for everyone, or do you see it more as a revenue
I
generation
don't,
for the country?
I think I think if you're just doing it for revenue, you're probably going to hit too many middle class people with higher costs. So I do not believe that it is the most efficient way to get more revenue into the government. I think there's other spending cuts and other ways to go about that. Um, I'm more supportive of the reshoring strategy and the contain China strategy. The interesting thing about getting everyone's tariffs to zero, I'm totally fine with that. If we do that on trucks, we're going to have a big problem because we have really high tariffs coming on trucks in this country, which is why we have an SUV and truck market that is as robust as it is. So we should be careful. But I also want to make this point again. Even if Vietnam takes its tariff rate from 5% to zero, Trump has them at 46 because there's a lot of other structural things he's trying to fix. And I'm not sure we're going to get all that done. I think he should
Yeah.
focus on a couple different places where he wants to make a difference and not try to boil the ocean.
Dean,
I'm
thank you.
struggling with that new map too. Thank you, Mark.
Great.